All right. Well, so we've just gotten this into our newsroom. The Israeli War Cabinet Minister Benny Gantz has just announced his decision to leave the Netanyahu government. What does this mean?
Well, this means that Benny Gantz has been pressing for a peace plan with the Hamas, with Gaza, with the Palestinians. And this is something that Bibi Netanyahu is very opposed to, because as much as Blinken and others want to push for some type of a arrangement where there's a ceasefire before the return of hostages. Look, there's one way to get a ceasefire here, and that's for the Hamas to surrender and to turn over all the hostages, and it would be done tomorrow. So this is something where, unfortunately, Benny Gantz is, in my opinion, is not focusing on the real problem here, which is putting maximum pressure on Hamas to do just that, because Hamas is almost completely eradicated. You have basically a few battalions that are remaining in place. Everybody else has been taken out all the way down to Rafah. And so it's just a matter of doing the job, which could be done in about 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks from now, if there's a united government. And now with Benny Gantz pulling back at the last minute, that's Bibi Netanyahu is going to push forward regardless. But this is something that shows that he should have held off on his opinion about a post-war situation in Gaza and not taken this step today.
But would you agree that what Gantz is doing is, kind of the same as the pressure that's been put on Benjamin Netanyahu from President Biden and other leaders in the world?
Absolutely, he's doing that. But the difference is that he's inside Israel, and Israel is steadfast. You have liberals, moderates, and conservatives in Israel that all agree that they need to make sure that this never happens again. And the only argument for that, or the only way to do that, is to actually eradicate Hamas, destroy it completely, and then we can talk, then the Israelis can talk about a follow-on peace plan after that. What Benny Gantz is doing is, you're right, he is doing the same thing that Blinken is doing, that Biden is doing, which is waffling on Israel's goal of absolutely, Bibi Netanyahu's goal of destroying Hamas completely. And once again, this could have been done a month and a half ago had there not been this pressure from the U.S. and from the liberals in Netanyahu's government, who have been focused not on the problem, which is eradicating Hamas, but rather on figuring out on the humanitarian side how to get this war ended. The best way to get it ended would be to destroy Hamas. Then there'd be no more need for that. And just one more thing, Anna, is that the casualties that you're pointing out there, the casualties are all because Hamas is hiding behind civilians. If Hamas were not hiding behind civilians and trying to maximize the casualties on their own populace, then look, they're cowards, and that's why there are high casualties other than just the fighters themselves.
Yeah, but some are saying, look, what's the cost? 4 people are home. It's amazing. I watched this video as it was breaking news yesterday. And for people who are just joining, kind of coming into the Sunday news cycle today and missed it yesterday, this is huge. 4 are home, and hopefully 120 more, will have a similar fate if we'll cross our fingers hard enough. But at what cost? Do you believe these numbers? 270 lost, they say. This is from their health ministry there in Gaza. Can we trust those numbers? 270 lives lost, hundreds more injured, many women and children. Can we believe those numbers? Do you think they are that high?
Well, in the past, the defense ministry, or rather the health ministry in Gaza, has completely overestimated, sometimes by 3 times the number of casualties. What Israel said yesterday after the operations, they believe about 100 total were killed in this operation, but most of those are Hamas, according to Israel, because Hamas, once they saw that this was a coordinated effort and a concentrated effort to remove what is their lifeblood as a terrorist organization, which is to hold these hostages that they've had now since October 7th. Once they realized that that was the deal, they saw that these fighters, the hostage rescuers, were exposed, and so that's what caused, in order to get them out, that's what caused the need for attacks from the air, and that's what took out. There was a big firefight, as has been reported. There was a news conference on that from the Israelis. So the short answer to your question, Anna, is that the Israelis have said there's about 100, and look at the track record of the health ministry in Gaza that has up to 3 or 4 times sometimes overestimated the overall number of casualties. So we can't trust their numbers, but we can trust that if there were any casualties there, it was because Hamas was doing a big counterattack and trying to take out the Israeli forces that then they had to respond from the air, and that causes a lot of casualties.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.